ఈ సందర్భంగా మరి జవపలంతులు మరి ఒక ఫ్యామిలీ మెంబర్స్ అందరూ కూడా మన సంతోషం మరొకసారి వారందరికీ కూడా యుఎస్ఏ తెలంగాణ పక్షాన మరొకసారి వందనాలు తెలియజేస్తా ఉన్నా. ఈ సందర్భంగా మరి వారి యొక్క స్వీట్ మెమరీస్ ఫ్యామిలీ మెంబర్స్ గా వారు షేర్ చేసుకోవాలని ఆశపడతా ఉన్నారు, మంచిగా ఉన్నారు. కాబట్టి మొట్టమొదట క్రిస్టఫర్ హర్సన్ గారిని విషయాలు షేర్ చేసుకోవాల్సిందిగా కోరుతాను.
To be here in your presence today. It is really a privilege, and we never expected this call. We never talked about this or anything like that. Suddenly, Ramraj called me and said, "We are planning this," and Suji called Buji. She is known as Buji, so I call her Buji here also. When he called her and told her that we are planning this, it was a big surprise for us. And I really thank God that God has given this thought in UESI people to build this block in memory of Daddy, who has been instrumental in setting up, may not be UESI-TS, because when the state was bifurcated, he was no more. But even before that, the very seeds for UESI-TS were sown when Daddy was in IC for the UESI-TS, erstwhile integrated state of Delhi. So I thought it may be a good idea to talk about Daddy, his history, where he was born, what he did, etc., so that the group at large would know who Daddy is, because many of you have known him as a student. Many of you have come and talked to me and said, I was a student when Daddy was there and all that. But you may not have known his humble beginnings. So I thought this will be a good opportunity to talk about that. And my sister Vivian will talk about Daddy's attributes and his qualities. So that's how we thought we will divide among those. And mommy is free now. She can speak whatever she wants. She is not restricted. So that is the thing. So hopefully I will stick to time. 21st December 1933. So that is the day Daddy was born in a village called Urangudi in Tirunelveli. Now it is Tirunelveli district, but at that time it was Tirunelveli district in Tamil Nadu. He was born to a jaggery merchant. My grandfather was a jaggery merchant, well-known jaggery merchant in those days, and he was well-known in the village also. My father lost his mother when he was in the second standard or third standard, and my grandfather married again. That was my mother's sister only. From the first grandmother's sister. Sorry, my grandmother's, his mother's sister. So for the first, my grandfather was very impartial. The first wife, he had 8 children, 6 sons and 2 daughters. Second wife also, he had 8 children, 6 sons and 2 daughters. So 18 to 16. In Tamil we say, 16 pesu peruvadu vaatu. It means bear 16 and have a long life. So that's what my grandfather believed in. Daddy was the 5th among the first mother's children, and he believed actually the brothers together helped each other to come up in life. Daddy studied in a hostel in a school in Menjanapuram, which is about 8 kilometers from the village. That was initially he was in Urangudi, but then he went to Menjanapuram and studied. He just higher secondary and higher graduate. That is basically from 6th onwards he was there. And many of the people whom you know well were his classmates or seniors or juniors, like Brother Patrick Joshua, founder of FFBB. He is also his contemporary. Brother D.J.S. Dinakaran, founder. He is one of his contemporaries. The H.S. Ponraj, who passed away. He is also one of his Sam Kamalesan. So like this, a lot of people who were with him during that period, who grew up in the school or the college and came up and were very luminous in the ministry. So after Daddy finished his schooling, he went to St. John's College in Badakote, where he did his PUC. That is in Tirunelveli, close to Tirunelveli. This was in, I think, 1956. No, not 56, 52. 1952. After that, he applied for, he did not want to do engineering, but one of his teachers told him that he should be doing engineering. So he applied for it and he got a seat and he went to Coimbatore, Government College of Technology, Coimbatore, where he was doing his engineering. That was the time the Lord and he was actually he started his history there when he was in PCT Coimbatore in the 50s, late 50s. And that's what one of the first Bible studies of UESI started in GCT. One was in Chennai, where Professor Enoch and others had started. And in GCT, Daddy had started one Bible study. These together merged and finally became what were the foundation for UESI these days. So that was the legacy of Daddy. After he finished his engineering, he did his MSc engineering from Gindi, College of Engineering Gindi in Chennai. After that, he joined PWD. I don't think any of you have thought that Daddy would be a candidate for PWD. He joined PWD and then he joined Legally Lignite Corporation as an engineer. He didn't last there for more than 6 months. He could not take that load. That is the time he actually got into REC Warangal. It was REC Warangal now, then now it's a Navy. 1959 is when Daddy joined REC Warangal. He was one of the first staff members in REC Warangal. And in 1961 he married this beautiful lady. And I should tell you something about Daddy's beliefs in those days. Okay? My grandfather, that is my dad's father, took dowry from my mom's father. Okay? It was a very busy amount, but still a dowry was taken. Then after they got married, one day when they were talking, Mommy told Daddy, you say you're a believer, but you still took dowry. Daddy had a shock. He said, what? What are you talking? Then he said, my daddy came with a dowry for you. Then he went back to his father and said, did you take a dowry? I didn't take a dowry. Somebody gave me money, I took it. Your father-in-law did not give me. He gave somebody, that somebody gave me. So I did not take from your father. That was very upset. Very upset. And he told my mother's father, my grandfather, I will repay every 5 of them. Because this is not what a child of God does. I will pay every 5 of them. My grandfather was an even smarter man. He said, I did not give you any money. You don't have to return anymore. So, I am just telling this incident to show that even in those days, when we did not have UESI or EU or anything like that, God had put his seed in Daddy's mind. And he was firm for the Lord even in those days. This is 1961 that I am talking about. 1961. So, they settled down in Warangal. And in the early days, when I was born, Mummy was in Tirunelveli in Mogalur, which is a village close to Modapudi. We were there. Daddy was playing ball badminton. He used to play ball badminton in those days. He was playing and he went back. Somebody sat down and he fell over it. And he had a bad pain in the back. And that developed into pyelonephritis, which is a kidney problem, which haunted him for many, many years. Many, many years. Then 1 year, that is I think 64 December. 64 December, actually January, end of December. December 31st, both of them sat and they prayed, Lord, either you take me or you heal me. This was his prayer. And they were fasting at night. Lord, either you take me or you heal me. I cannot bear this pain anymore. They went to California, they went to Chennai, they went to lots of hospitals and spent all their earnings, the in-laws and the parents, everybody also gave money. A lot of money was spent, but that was not paid. So he just that night they prayed. Around 2 o'clock, Brother Johnson the Rao, many of you in Hyderabad would know him. Brother Johnson the Rao, who was the first student in REC Paragal. 2 o'clock, he comes running to the house, knocks the door. And the mommy asks, what is it? He said, give me some sugar. Give me some sweet, not sugar. What sweet? For December 31st, we are praying like this, and you are asking for sweet. What is this? No. Give me something sweet. So then they brought she brought some sugar. She brought sugar and gave it to him. And he took a mouthful and gave the promise card. He gave the promise card. That is from Exodus. I will bless your bread and water, and I will take all sickness. Sorry, very emotional. I will bless your bread and water, and will remove all sickness from your presence. That morning, as usual, Daddy sent urine for testing. The usual nurse who does it told the person who put the urine, please bring another sample. So he sent another sample. Then she said, no, ask him to come here and give a sample. So he went, St. Anne's Hospital. And St. Anne's Hospital. He went and gave us another sample. There was no trace of albumin. Whereas for nearly 3 years, there was so much of albumin. The Lord had made it for a greater purpose, and that is what I was set apart for. Knowledge, again, he never bothered about whether he was an assistant professor, whether he was a lecturer or a professor. At one stage, it came to a level where his colleagues started making fun of him, saying, you are going and preaching everywhere, but you cannot even become a professor because you are not fit to be a professor. One of his colleagues told him that. Daddy took it very, very seriously. About 5 or 6 years before retirement, he said, I will do my PhD. Just to prove that it is not that I cannot do PhD, I will do my PhD to prove it. So he did his PhD, and then he got his professorship, and then only he took voluntary. Just to prove that it is not because he was not able to do it, it was a voluntary retirement. I've done my job, I've got my thing, and I took voluntary retirement. And that is the reason why, Anandraj knows what I told him. That is the reason why he never liked to be called as professor anymore. He said, professor is what REC gave me. Doctor is what the Lord gave me. I will use doctor only, not professor. So he never used professor, and he always felt that he has done this because of the Lord's help, and that's what we use. Our house was always an open home. The first person who enjoyed the open home in our house was again Brother Johnson. And his invitation, mommy was the young lady who had come all the way from Tirunelveli, no English, no Telugu, no Hindi, only Tamil. So Daddy told her, let us invite him, let's have a prayer. Because he was only Christian in that student community at that time. So they called, when he came home for something, Daddy was not there, she told her, let's go. Tomorrow, come for dinner. That is what she went. And it was a small community, it was only one first batch of students in the unit. So he came, and so they started a small prayer group. They got students, we started working that way, and this continued. When we moved to REC campus, again, our house was an open home. People used to finish the Bible study, come at 8:30, we'll be just sitting for dinner, and then before 5 people will come, Auntie, ఏమన్నా ఏముంది పప్పు చారులో నీరు పోసి వేడి నీరు పోసి ఉప్పేసి ఇచ్చేవాళ్ళు. That's all she would do. Because 8 o'clock in the night, you cannot cook anything. So, and they happily ate at that point. Very happy. I should tell one incident. I think Michael is also there watching this. Michael Kumar, who was the director of Karunya, and who was one of the students at REC Karunya. He was daddy's student. He was a mechanical engineer. Before I talk about that incident, let me tell this. He was daddy's student. And there were two people who were taking care of the lab. He never went to daddy for getting any marks. He always went to the other professor. There were two professors. And as time went on, he was topping the class, he was doing well in class and all that. Then some of the students made fun. You go to Dr. Devapal's house now, you will get marks. No wonder. He took all his papers and showed, show me one lab record that is signed by Dr. Devapal. If I went to him, I'm afraid that he would not have given me 10 out of 10, because he would say, you can still do better. I could have given you only 9. But because I went to the other professor, I got 10 out of 10. And all my lab records are collected by him. Nobody else. This was the destiny of Michael and also. That he did not take advantage. And daddy never looked for doing anything wrong. I mean, hanky-panky because he knew people. He was very strict in that way. Michael was involved with the Marxism at that time. Before I came to know the Lord, he was involved in Marxism. We had a camp in Alep, and as children, our vacation was camps. Every summer, every holidays, everything, camp. There was no visiting or anything, except in summer, 2 months we used to go during summer holidays to our village. Otherwise, it was all camps. Camps are security or discipleship training camp, one of these two. So, one of these camps, Michael and I had come, and the students group had said, we normally take a plate and glass. Those days, you have to bring your own plate and glass. So, we should take a plate. He said, I don't have a plate and glass. You go to their houses, they will give you plate and glass. So, he came after that, and coming to the camp and get a plate and glass. Coming to get a plate and glass. Then he went. Later, in that time, he came to know the law. And later, his testimony was, I am somebody whom I do not, I am somebody whom they do not even know. I go and knock on the door and say, I want a plate and glass. No questions because I went to this camp. No questions asked. They just gave me plate and glass. What are these people? So that was a sort of faith and trust that Mummy and Daddy had in God, and God led them that way. Finally, it came to a situation where Michael and I had to fight a lot. Basically, because he used to say he is the eldest son. And I used to say I am the only son. So they cannot be eldest son, I am the only son. The problem became bigger after we got Bujit married. He comes and says I am more than a son. So now we have an eldest son, an only son, and more than a son. That is how our family is. Spiritual sense. So that was very frugal, and we used to take care of things in a very minimalistic manner. No luxury, nothing. Believe me, till 1989, we only had a cycle. 1989, my grandmother came to live with us. She saw us and said, let me pay money for a bike. And that was our first vehicle, which was given by Mommy's mother. Till then we had only a cycle. He said, that is enough for me. Even the bike, I used to only be riding, not even dying. He took a lot of time to learn how to ride a bike. But finally he rode a bike, but very minimalistic. Later he came to Hyderabad, it was when he actually started using it more. So, that was very, I still remember one incident, I must tell this incident. evenings in Warangal are very, very hot. So after 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, when it starts getting a little cool, we go out for a walk. Okay. So we go out for a walk. So we went for a walk one day, and when we were going for a walk, we said, okay, let us have a drink. Let us have a drink. And Danny, like a very generous person, he said, yes, let's all have a drink. And then Bujay and I asked for gold spot. Those days, gold spot was there. We asked for gold spot. And you know how much that was those days? 90 paisa. 90 paisa. That was how much gold spot was. So she and I ordered for gold spot. We said, we'll have 4 gold spot. All of us will have gold spot. Daddy put his hand in his pocket, looked around, and said, you are children. You will drink gold spot. Yeah, adults. We'll take gold spot. Because that was 5 paisa. That was 5 paisa. This was 90 paisa. So he did not have money. So he just said, children, you enjoy, but we will still sacrifice for you. That was the life he lived. A life of sacrifice throughout his life. Never did he, what shall I say, spend unnecessarily. Another instance, we went to, we were in US, my family and myself, because of our company, we came back. We went to, tank when there was a Viceroy. Viceroy. Those days it was Viceroy. Now I think it is Marriott. So I told Daddy, you have never been to a good hotel. I want to treat you. Is what I told him. So okay, let's go. I took the car to Viceroy, and we stopped there. He said, why are you stopping me? I said, we'll have dinner. Well, really? He said, it's so expensive here, why should we eat here? I said, no, I didn't treat you. He said, it's not your money or my money. Use that money for fun. I'm not eating here. I mean, the guy comes and opens the door for us to get down. I have got down, I'm asking Daddy to come down. He will not come down. My family is sitting in the back. They are all ready to get down. Nobody is getting down. And I asked the security guy to close the door. And we went out of the hotel without even getting down. That was the type of person he was. Just for a few hundred rupees, no. And we went back and we went to a normal hotel and ate. I was so embarrassed that day. But for Daddy, spending money unnecessarily was a waste of money. We never even liked it. Similarly, when I was there, when I was in US, I told Daddy, you're traveling so much in this hot weather. Let me put a corpus fund of some money, some 5,000 rupees. Let me put a corpus fund. You travel by AC two-tier. Those days only AC two-tier, there was no AC three-tier. You travel by AC two-tier, you use this money. Don't take money from anybody who comes, who invites you. Don't take any money. If they give you, give it back to them as a gift. Use this money. I will fund it. Nobody else has to fund it, I will fund it. I told him. He said no. Nothing. Then finally, when I was here, I booked him an AC two-tier ticket. I gave that money to mommy and said, whenever Daddy was asking to book it, book only from this. That once I sent him the AC two-tier, that was the only time he went. After that, he never went. He was a man, a simple man, who always looked at ways and means to cut expenditure so that he can do more for them. And in our house, we had one box which was tied to the other box which was normal expenditure box. The normal expenditure box was always empty. My sister knows that tight box used to be always full. We used to take loans from the tight box because we didn't have money to spend. That was how we used to do. And there are so many stories I can tell about Daddy. So many stories. But I think I've taken too much time already. Students were his heartthrob. Students were his heartthrob. If it was not for this ministry that Daddy was given by the Lord, I think he would have been a wasted person. The Lord gave him this ministry. Daddy took it wholeheartedly, and till the end, he was faithful to the topic. There is no second thought on it. He was faithful to the topic. Two more incidents and I will close. Daddy fell sick with brain tumor. He had an operation first time. I came back from US. I was there. Then afterwards, he went back, and I think I came back again. Second time when I came back, 3 or 4 days before I left, he again fell sick. So we took him to the doctor. And we were with the doctor, and Daddy, he was again not coherent, and he was not able to speak well and all that. We went to the doctor. And doctor was saying, therefore, don't worry, we'll take care of it. He was saying, you know what Daddy told you? And in those days, he could not read properly and all that. So I think I should also acknowledge my brother here. He was more than a son when my dad was sick. I was in the US at the time. I could not get a visa. I could not come back. Even for his funeral, I could not be here. But my brother-in-law, my brother-in-law was more than a son. I took care of him more than a son. I must acknowledge that. So, going back to the story, we went to the doctor to say that he's not feeling well. The doctor said, things will be fine, don't worry. We'll use read the Bible and sing songs for him. And Daddy just put his hands together to the doctor and said, Doctor, my only desire is to read the Bible and understand it. Give me that much of help, and I don't need anything else. I should be able to read the Bible and understand it. Because his thinking was now going slowly deteriorating, so he could not even understand or comprehend what he was doing. So it was a bit of a task at that time. So that is his last desire, because after that he went into sort of incoherent stage, and then he passed away. The P.T. Chandra, who was also the first General Secretary of UESI, he came to visit Daddy. He's also a very old gentleman. He came and sat with Daddy. They were both crying. Both of them were just crying, looking at each other. They were not even talking. And as he was going down, he turned to me and he told me one sentence which I will never forget. And that sentence is, Hudson, whatever people may tell you, remember that your dad was a man of God. This is the testimony of Brother P.T. Chandra. Whatever people may tell you, remember your dad was a man of God. Is what he said. So I'm really thankful for Dad's life. I'm really thankful that UESI-TS has decided to memorialize this memory through this study center and this building. Really happy that you people have come together to do this, to fill this. And I really pray that this center becomes a center that brings up many more students to Christ. Today, all over the world, I don't know how many countries there are, but all over the world, all over India, there are people who, if you say, do you know Dr. Leopold, will raise their hands. Because they were touched by Daddy God touched them through Daddy. Daddy was used as an instrument. I always say that Daddy was not a light, he was a mirror. He used to reflect God's glory to everyone. And that is how he really showed God's plan for each person. He reflected that love of God to the students, and that's what really helped the students come to know them. Thank you very much. We really appreciate your time, and we really thank you so much. Thanks, sorry for everything.
Thank you, brother. Now we have our dear sister Vivian Moses, and she is the daughter of our beloved uncle, Janice. Okay, auntie Kichi, auntie తీసుకురావట. Sister.
And make there. He studied from GCP. Then, when he was a student, he was mentored by David Watson, a missionary couple, whose house Dad used to go as a student. So whenever he went to their house, he was really touched by the way David Watson would mentor the students, spend time with them, talk to them, and also take care of his boys. He had 2 sons. So the way he used to discipline his boys, Daddy was really touched by that. And he had this desire in his heart that he should have an open home like what Watson had. And David Watson was very much in touch with Daddy. He had also written lots of books, and we just saw in Daddy's library that he does have David Watson's books. And that desire in Daddy, no one taught him, but he had this desire that I was discipled, I was mentored by this person, I should pass it on. So when he prayed, and all of you know, he was a man of prayer, never took a decision frivolously. Anyone telling him, uncle, we need to do this, Daddy will say, let's pray. So that was something that he prayed. He led a life of prayer. And when he had this, he always prayed. When he had this desire of having an open home, he always prayed. And he had this desire of working among students. Like Anna said, Daddy worked in Naval Lignite Corporation. But still he heard the Lord telling him to work among the students. That's how Daddy came to Varakal, applied to work in Varakal. It was very new for people in Daddy's village. It was for them as though Daddy was going to some other country, coming to Andhra Pradesh, not knowing the language. Daddy came just because he heard the Lord tell him, work among the students. He stood by that. When Daddy went to England, he had opportunity, he went to do his MS in England. He had opportunity to stay back in England because he was ace in IC engines and gas turbines. He had an opportunity. One German company asked him to stay back in India, in Germany. Daddy said, no, my calling is students ministry. I will go back to India. I will not stay here. He had a desire. He had a calling from Dr. VGS, the reverend, to join Karunya as a dean. But Daddy prayed about it. My sister-in-law reminded us. Daddy prayed about it, and he had this. They gave him the idea that he's anyway working among students, so this is a bigger institution. He can work among students. Daddy prayed about it, and he got this verse: "You cannot serve 2 masters." He just called up Dr. Dhanakaran and said, "I am not joining as principal. I will continue with UESI ministry." So that is how Daddy was. Always prayed and sought the Lord. He was a man of prayer, never frivolous, and also he could guide us. That is one thing that I would like to say. And also Daddy loved the Lord and His word. For him, morning quiet time was a must, and it was a ritual. If there is a wooden chair in our house, we still have, Anna says he is going to take that chair because that is where Daddy would sit with a plant and he devoured God's word. All his messages, his Bible studies, his sermons, everything would be fresh. He does a Bible study in John's Gospel, chapter 1, in Vadepalli Bible study. He will not use it in REC Bible study. In REC Bible study, for REC Bible study, he will have another set of notes. He would have filed the material, he will have different files. He will use it as a reference, but always it would be a piece of paper that he would prepare. Be it sermons, anything, he would always do it fresh. That is something that touched us. Even his class notes, he will not go without preparation. The previous night, he will sit, go through the lessons, prepare for the classes and go. A man who worked hard, a man of integrity. Let it be the Bible doctrines. Let it be even telling children a story. Our children, all the 5 children that we have, are really blessed because Daddy has played with with them, talked to them, told them stories. Dr. Beryl remembers that daddy used to always cut apples. She remembers him as Appu Tata because she was very small when daddy passed away. A man who was hands-on, my daughter says Tata was a hands-on man, knew everyone who liked what in the family. Although he was so busy in the ministry, he balanced home, college and ministry. Nowhere that we lack. Nowadays we say ministry but we need children. No, he would discipline us. He knew whether we were wasting time, whether we finished our homework, he would do all that. Yet he had an open home. And having an open home those days was not easy, only one salary. But mommy and daddy would still give coffee. I just don't know how they serve coffee and meals. If I look back, it's not possible. It's only God's hand that was that the blessing that they had. And so many people who have sat and heard daddy counsel them. That is one childhood memory that stays in my mind. People coming, talking to daddy. He would be humbly talking to them, never as a professor, never as a teacher. At home, daddy was uncle. They could just talk to him. But in college, daddy was for all these students like Michael Anna, Sam Anna, Kamal Anna, so many people who were daddy students, that was there. And one thing I would like to say that daddy, now when I look back, daddy lived Micah 6:8, where Micah says, what has God asked you to do? He has just asked you to do 3 things. Walk justly, be humble, and seek justice, and give mercy. Very merciful man. He goes to the market, if he sees an old lady selling vegetables, he will buy vegetables only from that person. Mommy will say, you're getting all old vegetables. He used to say, no, there was a poor lady, if I give her little money, at least she will live. So he was so merciful and he was very just that he would not tell a lie. For him, lie was a lie. If children go and say, hide behind him and say, Tata, don't tell I'm hiding here, Tata will say, don't hide behind me because I cannot tell a lie and I will not tell a lie. So he was really a person, and he would never differentiate between Vaddepalli Bible study and REC Bible study. Vaddepalli, there was a Bible study that started and they were recent converts at that time. But daddy equally prepared. It was not that these are REC students who have to prepare well here and they're just new believers, I need not prepare and go. That distinction was never there. He was just in what he did. So these are some things that I would like to tell about Daddy. Thank you.
Thank you. అంటే కుటుంబ సభ్యులుగా వారి యొక్క స్వీట్ మెమరీస్ తెలియజేస్తున్నారు. అందరూ బట్టి వారికి థ్యాంక్స్ తెలియజేస్తున్నాం. అంటే యాజ్ అంటే కాన్స్టిట్యుయెన్సీగా అంటే మనతో అనుకున్నటువంటి సంబంధాన్ని అంటే వీడియో రూపంలో చూపించాలని స్టేట్ సెక్రటరీ గారు ఆశతో ఉన్నారు. వచ్చేసి వారిని వేదికకి చేస్తారు.
When I'm working as a staff member for Warangal, we have celebrated golden jubilee celebration of Warangal IC, and Devapal Agastani came there and we released his biography in Samuel Museum. So we released his biography, and today we wanted to make a video of it. So we use the word Professor Devapal, not Dr. Devapal. Please bear with us. And our staff Rajkumar is an excellent person who can make videos. Thank you.
Lights up.
Professor Devapal finished his MSc Engineering from London Imperial College and decided to invest his iron in mechanical field for the development of his own country. After coming back from UK, He clearly understood the calling of God to work in NIT Warangal. Though he got many openings in Tamil Nadu, he then asked his parents' permission and they counselled him to obey to the highest calling. Ever since he landed in Warangal in December 1960, Professor Devapal loved the place of his mission so much and he did not think of going back to his hometown for settlement. He later married to Leelavati on 14th June 1961. 3 months after joining the NIT Warangal, Professor Devapal got a vision from the Lord in which, while riding his bicycle, he was prompted to stop along the roadside to pray for the students. As he was praying, 3 students of the IC Mr. John Sundarao, Mr. Anyan, and Mr. George joined him in prayer. He then understood clearly from the vision that God was calling him to start a small prayer cell for REC students. He then shared the vision with his young wife and they together planned to invite the students to their house for prayer and to get together. Professor Devapal's childhood fascination for motors and engines drove him to pursue career in mechanical engineering. His relentless efforts and hard work were the seeds in establishing a mechanical engineering laboratory at REC. Whenever new machines come from outside, he used to stay in the laboratory along with the workers to install them. His lectures on combustion, turbo machinery were masterpieces, attracted the attention of scientists. His passion and dedication for his work later paved the way for his lifetime achievement of firing the rocket motor in the presence of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, former President of India and then scientific advisor to Government of India. He worked in REC as an assistant professor for over 20 years without getting promotion, as he did not finish his PhD. Later, he finished his PhD and submitted the thesis on solid propellant rocket in just 2 years at IIT Madras. He was very busy in attending EU and EGF meetings, taking the care of state leadership, speaking assignments in and around Warangal and even in neighboring states. Uncle Devapal's special quality is that unless God tells him, he will not venture. He will wait upon the Lord, even if it meant for years. In 1985, when they thought of buying a house in Chennai to be close to their relatives, Uncle smoothly rejected the idea, saying that God called him to be in Andhra Pradesh, and therefore he wanted to settle down in April. And after waiting for years, the gracious Lord has led them to stay near Hebron, and later they purchased their own house in Sanipuri, Hyderabad. He was the first person to plan and host one-day retreat in their house for international students studying in REC Warangal. He helped his wife in preparing delicious food for foreign international students, yet he did not lose his focus to give personal attention to these foreign international students. Uncle's vision has crossed many horizons. He was an instrumental in starting Evangelical Teachers Fellowship of India. He had spent the whole November and December in 1974 for writing to people about starting ETFI, then known as TFA, and planning for it. Thus, ETFI was born on 28th of December 1974 at Nagpur during the 20th anniversary celebrations of UESI. In August 1990, Uncle Devapal took voluntary retirement from REC Warangal to serve ETFI full-time. At this time, a lucrative offer came to him to head a prestigious engineering institution, but he blindly refused it, saying that he was taking voluntary retirement to join ETFI, not to make money. Uncle Devapal faced many hazards, especially in the areas of finance and health. Uncle Deopal was an honest man. His dedication and service to upliftment of REC is commendable. REC is blessed for having a godly professor like him. He got a great respect for his values and was very honest. His colleagues admired him for his hard work and sincerity. He was serious about academic work and made no compromise regarding the quality. He prepared his lessons well in advance and taught them well. This is the life of Professor Dherupal, a life of spreading fragments of godliness and beauty of simplicity. His foundations were deeply rooted in the Word of God. His convictions were driven by the kingdom values. His life of purpose and his focused vision will always challenge the generations to come. He and his wife played an important role in shaping the many students, not only in academically, but also eternally. He was a respected teacher, a loving husband, a wonderful father, a fervent preacher, a faithful minister, a jovial uncle. Reverend B.T. Chandabilla, former General Secretary of UESI, rightly commented that Uncle was a man of God and his word. Professor G. Dherupal will be remembered, his memories cherished, his passion emulated, and his life imitated, all for the glory of God.
Also thank Staff Rajkumar for investing 5 days to prepare this video. Please stand.
ఇలాంటి కింగ్డమ్ వాల్యూస్ కలిగినటువంటి దైవజనులు మన మధ్య ఉన్నారు కాబట్టి ఈ పరిచయం ఈ విధంగా కొనసాగడానికి ప్రభు మన పట్ల కృపను విస్తరింపజేస్తూ ఉన్నారు. ఆయన డెడికేటెడ్ లైఫ్ అండ్ కమిట్మెంట్ అండ్ కన్సర్న్ విద్యార్థులు పరిచయం పట్టినటువంటి భారం బట్టి బాధ్యతలన్నింటి బట్టి ప్రభుత్వం స్తుతిస్తూ మన మధ్య ఉన్నటువంటి మరి సునీల్ సుభాస్కర్ గారు ఒకసారి ఉన్నారండి. అంకుల్ యొక్క జీవితాన్ని బట్టి వారి పరిచయాన్ని బట్టి మరి దేవుని స్తుతించాల్సిందిగా మనం చేస్తాం.
ప్రేమలేని మా తండ్రి, కృపగలిగిన దేవా, నేను మీకు వందనం స్తోత్రం చేస్తున్నాను. మీరు ఇచ్చిన యొక్క మంచి సమయానికై నేను మీకు కనపరుస్తాను. దేవనైనా యుఎస్ఐ పరిచర్యలు నా తండ్రి ప్రభు బలంగా వాడబడిన మీ యొక్క దాసు డాక్టర్ దేవపాల్ గారి గురించి తనను జ్ఞాపకం చేసుకోవడానికి నన్ను మాకు ఇచ్చిన యొక్క మంచి సమయానికే నేను మీకు వందనం స్తోత్రం చెల్లిస్తున్నాను. విద్యార్థి దశలో ఉండి నన్ను మీరు రక్షించి మీ యొక్క పరిచర్యలో విద్యార్థి పరిచర్యలో దేవతను తీసుకున్న గొప్ప నిర్ణయాన్ని బట్టి వాడుకున్న విధానాన్ని బట్టి నేను ఎంతగానో స్థుతిస్తూ ఆరాధిస్తూ ఉన్నాను. అనేక మంది విద్యార్థులైనా ఛాలెంజింగ్ లైఫ్ని దేవతను ఆ యొక్క లెగసీని మీరు దేవతల ద్వారా దేవుడు ఇచ్చిన విధానానికి నేను మంత్రం స్తోత్రం చెల్లిస్తూ ఉన్నాను. ఆయన ప్రేమగిరి తండ్రి, ఆయన ముఖ్యంగా ఆయన ఈ సమయంలో తన యొక్క తన జాబ్లో కూడా, అదేవిధంగా కుటుంబ పరిస్థితుల్లో, అదేవిధంగా పరిచర్యలో బ్యాలెన్సింగ్గా ఆయన తను ఉంటున్న విధానాన్ని బట్టి జ్ఞాపకం చేసుకుంటున్నాను మీకు వందనం చెల్లిస్తాను ప్రభా. అదేవిధంగా నేను వారి యొక్క నా తండ్రి కుమారులు కుమార్తెతో కలిసి మేము కూడా ఆనందించడానికి మీరు ఇచ్చిన యొక్క మంచి సమయానికి నేను స్తుతిస్తూ కనపరుస్తూ రాబో తరానికి నా తండ్రి ప్రభా, నేను మా యొక్క జనరేషన్ కూడా ఒక మోడర్న్ లైఫ్ని తండ్రి మాకు మా ముందుకిన విధానానికే నేను స్తుతిస్తూ కనపరుస్తూ ఈ నా కొద్ది స్థుతి ఆరాధన ప్రభువును రక్షకుడైన యేసుక్రీస్తు వారి ఉన్నతమైన నామములోనే సమర్పించి ఆరాధిస్తున్నాను తండ్రి.
మరి ఈ సమయంలో మరి నాటిని ముందుకు రావాల్సింది మనం చేస్తాం. మన లేడీస్ స్టాఫ్ అందరూ ముందుకు రావాల్సిందిగా మనం చేస్తాం. మాధవి, ఆంటీని పార్టిసిపేట్ చేయడానికి దయచేసి లేడీ స్టాఫ్ అందరూ కూడా ముందుకు రావాల్సిందిగా మనం చేస్తాం ప్లీజ్.
ఛార్జింగ్ కూడా
మాధవి అంతి, జ్యోతి అంతి, ఓకే.